The Clinton campaign today calling on you again to release your taxes, implying, though, for the first time that the reason why you're not is not the audit, but because your businesses owed hundreds of millions of dollars to the Bank of China or to Russian businessmen with ties to the Kremlin. Your reaction to that?
That's totally false. Look, I have mortgages on property. I'm very under-leveraged. I have very little debt, tremendous net worth, but have very, very small debt. And we have mortgages to different banks. I'll probably release a list of the banks that we have mortgages to.
Going out in the snow is not something that people in New England like doing any more than they do in Northeast Ohio. But if this continues into tomorrow, some believe because of his field organization, this could actually benefit Kosich.
Our John Kosich, the only local television reporter on the ground in New Hampshire. And John, our governor, a very busy day, got an early start, and he's not done yet.
No, he is still going. A journey that started 202 days ago with his first town hall not far from here in Nashua. Will end here in just a couple of minutes with his 106th town hall in Manchester. After that, it's all in the hands of these voters.
Isn't that America? Isn't that the glue? Isn't that the spirit that holds us together?
In his final appeal to Granite State voters, Governor John Kosich asking them to join him and the others who came here who believe in him.
We have hundreds, literally hundreds of people who have flown or driven into this state to help me. You come up here from Richmond, Virginia. I mean, it's unbelievable, and I don't understand it. But you know what I know is happening is there's a kind of a movement now that maybe we can all be part of something that's a little bigger than ourselves.
Kosich's remarks at this and the other 105 town halls he's held here in New Hampshire off the cuff, with Marco Rubio coming under fire from Chris Christie for planned answers. Governor Kosich telling the national media that's not now, nor has it ever been him.
People are looking not only to understand what's in your head, but they also want to know what's in your heart. And if all you are is scripted, I'm not sure that people respond to that. I know pretty much what I want to say and how I want to say it. And John here's covered me for 6 years. I mean, I've never worked with a teleprompter. I don't deliver prepared speeches most of the time.
I know even in 2012 at the Republican National Convention, they made him load his speech into the teleprompter, and then he went on to promptly ignore it. For sure, his next speech after the town hall tonight will be a very short one because it's going to be outside in a snowstorm. A political rite of passage to rally the troops to get out the vote early in the morning before it all is decided, beginning at polls opening in some places at midnight tonight. Reporting live in Manchester, John Kosich, News Channel 5.
And welcome back to the Q. A lot of action happening within the last 90 seconds or so here at the arena.
Yes, we heard a lot of commotion going on. John Kosich, you're down on the floor. You're trying to explain that something just happened with the rules.
Yeah, we talked about it when we were live on the floor a second ago. The Never Trump movement, the last chance that they had for any kind of a challenge to Donald Trump would have been with the Rules Committee, trying to get changes to the rules for this convention and for the next 4 years. It was voted down last week in the 112-member committee. They only got 12 votes out of it, those looking to change the rules. What they had hoped to do was get a majority of signatures from 7 different states over the past couple of days that would allow them to get a roll call vote on this, and that obviously was shot down. And you hear the pro-Trump and the anti-Trump kind of people going back and forth. They've left the podium, so they're going to let them voice this out amongst themselves.
Well, you know, John, it was funny, just turn around looking down here. I mean, you see people standing next to each other going at it. I mean, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, I mean, really going at it.
This was really, again, that last opportunity for, again, this was supposed to be a contested convention. Everyone swore it would be. It was not going to be. It was the Rules Committee last week. We thought that's where the planks were going to be changed and rules were going to be changed. It wasn't. This was the last chance. And the thing is, in a situation like this, it's up to the chairman to say what he hears on the yays or nays, and it always goes the party's way when it goes with something like that, and it gets people upset. Yeah, consider this. 8 years ago tonight, Marcia Fudge was mayor of Warrensville Heights. Tonight, she is the permanent chair of the Democratic National Convention. To put that in perspective, that was the role played by House Speaker Paul Ryan last week for the Republicans in Cleveland. Fudge appearing today at the Ohio delegation breakfast this morning. Her role took on a heightened significance after the decision of Democratic National Committee Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz to step down at the end of the convention over those leaked emails that called into question the fairness of the Democrats' presidential primary process. I asked the Congresswoman about that. Do you feel that the emails showed that the situation was
stacked against Bernie in a sense.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you, John. I haven't read any of them, so I don't know what they showed. But what I do know is this. Under any scenario, Bernie lost this race. Whether you just take the pure number of people who voted, whether you look just at delegates, whether you look at states, there is no scenario by which he won.
I got to tell you, as you come out here in the hall, strong Bernie presence here in the arena this evening. You can understand why they wanted to have his speech on this first night, get that unity and move on from here. But the chance of Bernie interrupting several speakers, including Elijah Cummings, including Marcia Fudge, even the opening prayer was interrupted by a back and forth, drowning out portion of that prayer. Marcia Fudge saying to the crowd at one point, I will show you respect, but I expect you to show me respect in return. So it should be an interesting speech tonight when we hear from Bernie Sanders this evening. Reporting live from the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, I'm John Kosich, News Channel 5.
The convention hall was filled with cheers tonight. There was still tension among those staunch Bernie Sanders supporters, all centered around former Ohio State Senator Nina Turner. Turner was supposed to enter Sanders' name into nomination last night, but was told in the last minute that she would not be speaking. Our John Kosich was there as Turner was escorted away from the arena tonight in Philadelphia.
Escorted, she told me, by her own wishes. As news spread of her convention snub, so too did support online and for people like actor Susan Sarandon and actor Danny Glover.
We just stand in solidarity with her because it was a very, very upsetting incident and it shouldn't happen.
The chance of Nina. Turner left the Wells Fargo Center as the hashtag #OnWithNina picked up traction. As she left, she talked exclusively to me about what happened.
I mean, yesterday the senator wanted me to be able to put him into nomination, and for some reason it did not happen. And so lots of people gathered on the internet to voice their support for me, and I really do appreciate their support. But they had a moment, and we're going to keep moving. I don't want people to worry about what happened yesterday. I want us to think about and talk about what we're going to do tomorrow to continue to make this world a better place for everybody. And that's what I want. That's what I want them to do.
Okay, Portia, don't do.
And once again, I communicated with her by text after she left to say, was she told to leave or was she being escorted out? She told me no. Earlier in the evening, we had spoke, and she talked about the unity she thought would come eventually in the party, but it is clear by the actions tonight, it won't be immediate. At the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, John Kosich, News Channel 5. Yeah, it was a speech reminiscent of some of the early Clinton themes from the early 90s. There's nothing wrong with America that can't be fixed by what's right with America, and what's right with America is the American people when we're willing to work together. E pluribus unum, out of many one, she said. It was a political speech that was a political lifetime in the making for Hillary Clinton, touching on so many of the themes of the week. Stronger together, working together, united together. The themes that were meant for the people at home watching, trying to decide between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and for the people here in the hall, the divided Democrats, the Bernie supporters who could be seen wearing the fluorescent orange. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani and former Vermont Governor Howard Dean have something in common, a mutual dislike of each other's candidate. As we approach the second debate, Clinton surrogate Howard Dean's advice for Hillary is simple. Take what you did last time.
Just keep doing it. The second debate's a little different. It's a town meeting, a different format. Just be yourself. She's very smart. She knows the issues. Trump knows nothing about the issues and really doesn't care.
And there it begins. Trump surrogate Rudy Giuliani taking issue with that, saying Trump will be prepared, and you will see it if the debate is fair.
I do hope the moderators stop interrupting and telling us what they think the truth is, because in Lester Holt's case, each time he did it, he was wrong.
In 2000, Giuliani briefly challenged Hillary Clinton for a U.S. Senate seat in New York before suspending his campaign for health reasons. So he's done his opposition research. Are there things that you know about Hillary Clinton that Donald Trump has not used yet?
Yes.
Are you urging him to use them?
We'll see.
Would you like to divulge some of them now?
No, I wouldn't.
The war of words extends beyond those spoken to those written or tweeted. Dean took some heat for this tweet made during the first debate. Notice Trump sniffling all the time, he wrote, coke user. So does he really think that?
I have no idea. I don't know. I'll leave that up to his physician, who doesn't seem to be exactly on top of things. I mean, look, whatever's the matter with Trump, I don't know. But a normal person doesn't get up and start tweeting at 3 and 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and you certainly shouldn't do that if you want to be president of the United States.
Mr. Giuliani, you have 15 seconds for rebuttal.
I believe that Hillary Clinton would be a disaster. I would have a hard time seeing a criminal sitting in the White House.
You know, Rob, picking up on what Mark was talking about with the weather, back in 2004, we had a steady rain throughout the day, and John Kerry underperformed in that election in Cuyahoga County, and as a result didn't carry the state. That's one of the things that we've been breaking down in the War Room over the past couple of days, looking at some of those past election results. What they didn't have in 2004 was early voting, and we do have about 35 to 40% of the vote already in here in Ohio that will know around 7:45 how they are casting. Donald Trump has a 2.2% lead, according to Real Clear Politics, in the state, but what he does not have is a ground game that Hillary Clinton has, and that's why she's going to be focusing on the 3 Cs, Cuyahoga County, Franklin County with Columbus, and Hamilton County with Cincinnati. Maximize the vote in these 3 areas like President Obama did on this 2008 map, and that will help her carry the state. For Donald Trump, minimize the area for Hillary Clinton, and then remember where you did well in the primary back in March, here along the Ohio border, down along the Ohio River. This is where he beat John Kosich. If he does well in these particular areas, it could be a good night for Donald Trump. We'll be breaking all this down.
And you spoke with Ohio Governor John Kosich about our new president-elect.
Yeah, Governor John Kasich was coming to Washington for a speech that was to be about the future of the Republican Party post-Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump won, so that speech went out the window, but he did come here to meet with President Obama, who he's been working with on TPP, and to be present for the Cavaliers championship celebration. I asked him about where they go as a party after this.
We have to be positive. We have a new president, and we need to respect our presidents, and, you know, that's really, really important. It's not like, you know, this guy won this election, and we all have to pull for him, because as we pull for him, we help all Americans.
And Governor Kasich telling Donald Trump, or not talking to Donald Trump, but talking about it, that he hopes he puts in place his key spots, very smart people that will help him, guide him, pointed in the past as he has to Abraham Lincoln and his team of rivals, sometimes bring in people who don't necessarily agree with you, but will help you run the country going forward.
I'm just happy we got another Kosich moment. So what's the overall mood in D.C. today?
You know, it's got to be still shock. I mean, this is a town that exists in a bubble. It exists in a vacuum. We know that. But this is something the country, to a large extent, didn't see coming. So it's clear that this is something that Washington didn't see coming, Republican or Democrat, in all this. So, and I think there's a lot of soul searching going on. And there's a lot of, you know, you can hear protesters in the background just outside of the North Gate here at the White House. They've been out there for about 2 hours right now, some of what we're seeing around the country. There will be a lot of soul searching. Why do we miss this? And where do we go as the individual parties? And where do we go as a country from this?
It's not going to be boring. That we know, John. Thank you very much.
And John, you and the governor have certainly had a lot of heart-to-hearts. How was this one different?
You know, different in the sense, Lee, that he knows he's in a position to do something that hasn't been done since May 6, 1952, a week to the day, incidentally, before Kasich was even born. And that is be the first Ohioan since Robert Taft to win an Ohio presidential primary. And as you saw in the video, to Kasich, Cuyahoga County never looked so good.
It's great to be in Ohio. I mean, I kissed the ground when I got into the FBO. I did. I got down on my hands and knees. I actually didn't kiss the carpet because I didn't know if it was clean, but it was great to be home.
Kasich needs and expects to win Ohio. We talked about his path forward after that, though, that would involve a contested convention.
Well, look, I think we should not get ahead of ourselves when it comes to the convention. I mean, I've talked about it probably more than I should have, getting ahead of myself a little bit. Because politics is, John, as you know, what is true today is not necessarily true tomorrow. That's why I think we're interested in it. But if we were to go to a convention, look, let me put it to you in simple terms. When you and I were in school, if you made an 86 on your test, you didn't get an A, you got a B. And so if nobody can get to 90 and get an A, well, then we're going to have a convention and talk about it. And, hey, look, John, at the end of the day, the governor of Ohio is one of 4 people left. There's only 6 people in the country who might be president.
And the Republican nominee will be chosen in 4.5 months. Where else but in Cleveland?
It's amazing how Ohio always ends up somehow being the geographical center of presidential campaigns. And it's happening again. With our own guy, our favorite son, I hope. I'm your favorite son, I hope.